I had a GP appointment this morning and I was trying to. I've been getting pains in my head. Well, technically, the pains, I don't really know when they started, but I know that the dizziness has been going on for 11 years, and I think it has something to do with me time traveling and me talking to songs through time. I know they were particularly bad that time I went to hospital this summer when I was just after listening to that I'm spinning around song, being like, yeah, this song is clearly about um, me spinning around in the sense of feeling dizzy because I feel like my soul or spirit is time traveling and it's affecting my brain. And I don't know, because I've been getting pains in my head. Like even when I did that walk for that like 7 hour walk, halfway in the middle, I just started getting the throbbing pains. I think the GP has called it ice pick pains, and she said that it's not likely to be like a tumor or anything. It's just ice pick pains or whatever. And she said she'd only do some sort of brain scan if I got an eye test because stress could be causing my eyes to hurt and the pains could actually be coming from that, which is actually quite likely because my eyesight seems to be a lot blurrier than it usually is, and maybe that is due to stress. But yes, I I then thought that because I really wanted this brain scan, not because of the pains or the dizziness, but because, that Lucy film where the character starts using more percentage of her brain. I've been trying to get that in place. There was one guy who looked like G-Eazy, who was a client, who was a doctor, and yes, he was definitely very easy because he definitely wanted that, even though he was married with kids. But anyway, um, he's quite fit, though, I have to admit. But he was a doctor, and he said that he was going to get me some sort of brain scan, but I don't know what happened. He said because he knows lots of doctors. He was going to help me, but it didn't pan out in the end. But I still feel like I need these brain scans. But I thought I would tell her about my time traveling, experiences, and to just get a recommendation on what she thinks is best. And she said that I just need to counsel therapy and stuff, which is probably right. The problem is counsel therapy only works if the counselor that you're talking to has an ability to believe in what you believe. If I'm saying that people are doing things about me behind my back, like Taylor Swift did that song because of me, and if she mentioned February in that link because endless that song, endless Februaries, it's like an endless February. Well, I said that my February is out of date, and I believe that she's added that into her sentence because it's supposed to be saying that the dates are all wrong, and in the video she's dating, you know negative name being guy who just wants money. Hence why it would be endless Februaries, because it's code for saying that the dates were wrong. Now, I was trying to explain something like that to the GP, but she cut me off halfway through and just said, you know what, I think your thoughts are affecting your mental health. And yeah, from her saying that, even though I like the girl, I mean, I told that she's a woman, an older woman, but anyway, even though I like the woman, I had made attempt to tell her that I was time traveling and trying to give evidence, but she cut me off halfway through because I think my view on me explaining that people are doing, I was trying to explain that she's doing things about me behind my back, and I was trying to show the evidence because I was saying that I've said something and then she's added something to her song, but the sentence was too long-winded that she didn't actually have any interest in listening to what I was actually saying or my evidence as to why I think people are doing things about me behind my back. She cut me off halfway through, and she said that your thoughts and your beliefs are affecting your mental health. Because of that, she sees this as a mental health condition and not as the fact that Taylor Swift could actually be doing things about me behind my back, or they're all are doing things about me behind my back. I think the belief that that is possible or true, or the fact that I am Christ and that I am, time traveling, I think it scared her. Honestly, I think it scared her, and it's not something she's going to be able to cope with instantly. Um, and I'm not expecting her to. It's a shocker, but at the same time, when it comes to talking to therapy, if I'm going to be given a therapist who's only going to see my beliefs as being a mental illness, me believing things that are not true based on thoughts that are not true, or seeing things and linking them to things that have no connection to anything. Taylor Swift doesn't know that I thought that the dates in February are all wrong, hence why she added that into her song. And to be honest, I don't even know if she did add that, because she might have written that song before I even mentioned about the February thing. But that's how complicated the spiritual thing is. It's like singers are doing things spiritually knowing what I'm going to say next, because the singers are being inspired by my higher self to do things that link with me in a certain specific time. It's very complex. It's a big in complex matrix. It proves that we're not living in the world that you thought, the world where you just evolve and the evolution happens and just shit happens, and that's it. That this is not the world we're living in. We're living in some sort of thing where there is something that's using me as a way of linking to all sorts of things, and it's you have to take the element of time out of it for you to believe me. And if I'm only going to be speaking to people who can't believe that such thing is possible, then they're only going to look at me as someone with a mental illness rather than someone who's actually experiencing real things. I really know that Taylor Swift knows about me. I don't know if she added that endless Februarys to show how the dates, as a code to show how the dates were all wrong, because my calendar, God's calendar, is in God's calendar, it's a Jordanian calendar, only with the dates being all wrong in February because it's one day earlier. I don't know when she actually wrote that song, and it doesn't matter, because my higher self knows that I'm not human. I'm not human. And if I was to try and explain why I'm not human to any human, they would only give me the advice that they would give if they were talking to someone with a mental illness. I cannot cope with that. That is not something that I can cope with, because it's only going to make me hate the people for not be able to believe what's happening to me. And they're going to get more and more scared. They're going to get more and more, afraid of me. Who is she? She's not human. What is this? And they're going to take their insecurities out on me, and make out that I'm the insane one, because they are in denial about, about the truth of what I am. And I don't think that woman was a bad person, but I think her first reaction to what I was saying was to blame what I was saying on a mental illness rather than accept it as being the truth. That was her first reaction. um, and therefore I can't be having therapists if the therapists are the one who need the therapy over what I'm saying. That is the situation that I'm in. I can't turn to churches because they're worshipping an antichrist. I can't turn to the media because they're ignoring me for some unknown reason. I can't turn to the media, the film industry or the music industry, because again they're ignoring me. And I can't turn to counselors or therapists, because after I tell them what I'm telling them, they're the only ones who are going to need the therapy. So I'm. It is like Lord of the Rings. I've got this ring of power that seems to be living outside of time, and affecting everything I'm doing, and I can't seek help from anyone else, because they would only cause me problems by denying what I'm saying and making out that it's a mental health. And if they're the ones in the power, because they have, if they if doctors deem someone as being mentally ill, the doctors can actually control that person and actually have power over that person, because they say, well, this person's got a mental illness. And then if they tell my story and what I'm saying to anyone else, they would all agree that I've got a mental illness. And if that happens, then all I'm going to do is be sent into a mental home. And therefore, if I try to seek help, their first reaction would be to make out that, it's a mental illness. It's not that I need help because I'm actually time traveling. I'm actually, connecting with something that's not human, and very, very, very intelligent, and can live inside humans' brains. And they wouldn't believe this. They would rather see this as a mental illness. And I feel like this is what the sacrifice is kind of going to be about, where people come to me and let me tell a bit of information and then just see how the public reacts, whilst knowing that the public is just going to see me as someone with a mental illness, and then it can probably go in whatever in whatever direction the doctors want it to go into, you know. But that's not going to help me in any way. I need to speak to counselors and therapists who know and believe that people are doing things about me behind my back, who've watched what I've happened, who have gone onto Facebook, who have seen the actual conversations that I've had, the intelligence that I bring, proving that I'm not insane, but also the strangeness of me saying, like, oh, that guy, I wish I could get a baseball bat and bat him in the face because he's got these two puppies on his bicycle all chained up, looking like, muzzle, like with a bandage on, with something on their mouth and something on their that was horrible. That was a horrible. If you imagine that being two, I don't know, two-year olds, two babies that he's just put a muzzle on, put a muzzle on a baby, and tie your hands, tie the hands of them, and then just have to, if that was two human babies and someone had done that, that guy would be shot instantly. And yet, if it's two puppies, people are just like, oh, that's that's bad, but it's like, that is really bad. I mean, these puppies aren't going to bark or anything. They're making cute little. It's almost like he didn't want to hear their cute sounds or whatever. And then 4 hours later to come across a video where it takes one of the singers that I've only just started looking at just in the last few days, and he's got getting someone to bat his face up. I mean, I feel like that's a connection that I could make, and I could have said that to her, because I could say it a lot quickly, but does she actually want to hear that? I don't know. I don't know. I wish this was ending, and I wish people would come and talk to me. People who believe in me, the people who know that I am God, people who are looking at my Facebook and are knowing that I am actually time traveling. My friend wanted to come this morning. He said yesterday that he's threatening to come and be my friend even if I don't want him to be my friend, this weekend guy. And I've blocked him now. I tried not responding to his text messages, and then he was just accusing me of being very cold and heartless with him. And I can't be your friend, because I know that I'm God 100%, and I know that anything I say, you're just going to see it as me being delusional or mentally ill, and I can't cope with a friend who sees what I'm going through as a mental illness, because that's only going to cause me more mental illness, because I'm thinking, why the fuck are you mentally ill for not taking an interest? But you're acting like you care about me and wanting to know me, but you're actually making me paranoid. You're making me paranoid because I'm thinking, well, why aren't you interested in knowing what I'm doing? I'm time traveling, and I'm putting the proof on Facebook. I don't really want you to read my Facebook page. I don't really want you to watch my videos, but I'm getting paranoid as to why you don't seem to, why you aren't able to believe me. Are you blocking me and what I'm saying out, and are you trying to just be my friend to try and convince me that I'm not God, because you think you're helping me by telling me that I'm not God? No, you're not helping me by telling me I'm not God. You're confusing me, and you're making me feel like I'm less than I am, and making me feel like everything that I've gone through in the last 11 years is just a mental illness. It's not a mental illness. People telling me that what I've gone through in the last 11 years is only a mental illness and only down to my own beliefs that are wrong. This is not helping me. This is hurting me, and I cannot be your friend if you're going to do this to me. So, that is the situation that I'm feeling with him, and I don't want to get rude, but I feel like I'm at the stage where I don't care any longer. I blocked him. If he comes over to my house, it's going to be hard to say no. But I think him buying me food and giving me a better life has made it harder for me to reject him. Because we had some really good days together, and I liked going to the 3 clubs that we went to. But yeah, I as much as I love drinking, I would much rather drink whilst being with people who know what I'm actually thinking and know that these songs are actually linking to me. If I'm dancing in a club knowing that these songs are actually about me, or linking to me in different ways, or if I know their character and what the song is actually saying through their character name. I just, to know all this stuff and know that no one else around knows, it makes me feel superior. But then to be with someone who also doesn't know just makes me feel odd, and makes me feel, like I'm alone, and that's not a nice feeling.